Welcome back to CES 2023 in fabulous Las Vegas. We are back in the digital health section. I love being here, and I have seen this display all week. We are finally here with Rick from Dassault Systèmes, and he's going to explain to us this incredibly complex system, but make it so easy to understand. Welcome, Rick.
I really hope so.
I think so. We're going to start with the heart, yes?
Yes. Dassault Systems wants to harmonize product, nature, and life in a virtual twin. So I'm going to walk you through some of that. Right here is what we call the living heart. With the FDA over the last 6 or 7 years, we've actually taken all knowledge of heart and put it into this model. Many of the companies like Abbott use it to test their medical devices, but it's a lot more than that. It's really matured. For example, right now at Children's Hospital in Boston, they go, and on children especially, they simulate the operation, and then the doctor tests it. Many times it doesn't work. Ultimately it does. And I think 500 this year, in every one of them we've modified the operation based on this model. It's saving lives every day, and it's just getting better. Okay? So now we've taken this technology. Actually, Dr. Levine did it originally, and his daughter, who had a lot of heart issues, now has helped us do it on the brain. Now in the brain, again, the whole concept of both of these was originally that the body is no different than an automotive engine. You know, we know how it goes together, and we figured out how to actually simulate we would in a car. Now with the brain, for brain surgeries, etc., in the past, they would often have to cut a big hole in your head and then probe around to get it. It's so precise now, they know exactly where to go. Again, saving lives and changing medicine.
Yes.
Okay?
You say it's like an automotive because Dassault Systèmes actually started, right? You have, one of your coworkers explained this to me last time, an automotive, an airplane, and
yes, if you take Boeing, Airbus, Toyota, Ford, Honda, much of their product development is on our software. The software that people use to design things and make things and create things, that's what we do. And we're the largest in the world in that space. But again, medical, we've moved into that. And
well, that's it. You've transferred over multiple industries, I think is the whole point,
yes,
which is so
yes,
cool.
We're across all industries at this point. But here's a really exciting piece.
All right, show me.
This is a product line we call Metadata. Now, we all know about drugs and clinical trials and so forth. We capture all the information from the clinical trials, and we use that obviously to validate, is the drug good or not? We do over 60% of the clinical trials on the cloud at Dassault. So you're all being affected by that today, I suspect, in a positive way, I'm sure.
Right, always in a positive way. This is incredible, the depth to which you can understand data.
Yes, now that gives you a sense of the medical side of us. Now let's go back to where we started, really.
Okay.
Now most of us, almost all of us, except maybe our children now, have a car, or have driven a car, right? So the automobile as well is becoming virtualized. And more than virtualizing the automobile, what we're trying to do is use the virtual twin, and what we're showing here, although that looks like a little model, that is the full design data of a vehicle. You could build that data, crash test it, and it would absolutely match. But what we're doing with it is, down here is all the electronics of the car as well. We're now saying, okay, you've heard of the metaverse, okay? This is the metaverse in action already on real vehicles, much more developed than the metaverse.
Right.
What we're doing is extending out. There's a handheld app there, and the idea would be by fully integrating the handheld app with the vehicle, you can control what the vehicle does. In this case, we have, with one of our suppliers, their 50 years of comfort data. So imagine that you're going to a car rental place. And no matter what the car is, we're working toward this. With this virtualization, you can say, it's me, you in this case. You press the button, and when you pick that car up, the seat will be adjusted to your comfort level. You know, the mirrors will be set, everything else. And just imagine extending that virtualization out, you know, through the dealers, through everything, and it changes all the time now. We together constantly create and innovate in our cloud, our 3D experience cloud. So that is a good basis for what Dassault Systems is, harmonizing product, nature, and life, and we believe in it, and we're creating it with our customers and our friends.
I think this is incredible. I think the biggest thing that I'm most interested in is the customization portion of what you do, because not just in cars and in aviation, but in life sciences and especially in physical health, you know, it becomes very much like, oh, well, this is what happens most often. And how many times do we hear people say that they've been misdiagnosed, or they are put on different prescriptions that maybe are not specifically for them. I don't feel like there's a lot of customization in some of the Western medicine that we see, which is why people are going more towards holistic.
Well,
so how this is changing the game.
It's not for me to, you know, I handle the automotive industry, but Dr. Levine, who was here earlier, and I'll try to paraphrase him, and Dr. Levine, I'm sorry if I get it wrong, he pointed out in medicine today, the doctor often treats you and the data is lost. And that's maybe where you're going with it. We're really working toward collecting the data, learning from the data, and improving the treatments, obviously in heart and brain, but we're working toward simulating the entire body. And, you know, going back to the automobile and so forth, that's where it started for us, but there's still more to do. You know, we have the whole electric vehicles, now autonomous vehicles. And my own take on it, I've been on the SAE committees that work on how do you validate autonomous vehicles, how do we at one point, and maybe not everybody, but we're pushing for full autonomy. There's still 40,000 people die on the roads today in the US. And these technologies, you know, from whoever vendors they're from, we now have or are very close to having the technologies to really prevent driver error. Not prevent, that's a hard thing, really minimize it. So the technologies from a health perspective are going to save lives, both in the automobile, on the heart, in the brain, and in the drugs you use. And that's what we're creating at Dassault Systems.
I think it's wonderful. And not to mention, you know, at CES, we're so overstimulated when we come into a space like this, so that you guys are right at the front. You have this incredible virtual twin interactive experience, which I participated in, which was so much fun. And that is what allows people to understand it more on a basic level, to say, like, this is what we're doing to try to help customize the experience to you. So congratulations on an amazing show.
Thank you, and just to build on what you said, last year at the show, you know, there was a German CTO in here, and you know, they're skeptical, and they should be, and we're showing them all the wonderful things we can do in their auto up on the cloud. Actually, last year we had to run on the cloud because it wouldn't work locally, but from CES we run up on the cloud, so that's a good thing. Regardless, he was skeptical about would this help him. We took him over to the human heart. And he started going through that, and he started understanding it. He became emotional, and he realized that this was different. This was real. And he started looking back to this, and he looking at the heart, and he said, this is real. This is changing everything. Everything's going to change. We need to do this. And he got it right. Right at that minute, I saw somebody go from a light bulb go on to say, things are changing. The future is different. The future will be better.
Well, and the future will be better in big part thanks to companies like you. So thank you for being here, for talking to us, for creating such a wonderful interactive experience that has allowed us to participate in being a part of the solution.
And it's wonderful to be in Las Vegas. I think it's my 7th year here, and every year it's better.
It's better and better. We love Las Vegas. We're so happy to be here. Thank you all for joining us from CES 2023. It's been a wonderful show, and I so appreciate all of the incredible exhibitors that are changing the world. This is the future. We are in it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We will see you next time.